Meeting will please come to order. Good evening, everyone. Today is Thursday, January the 8th, 2026. I am Trippy Congo, President of Wilmington City Council. And along with all of my colleagues, we just want to thank everyone who has joined us in council chambers and those of you who are with us virtually. We are going to begin with our opening prayer.
Heavenly Father, we have assembled to handle affairs for our city. As we do so, we ask for your guidance and understanding. We pray that our city reaches a place of peace and safety, keep us out of harm's way, and bless those who are in authority. Let respect be key in our endeavors. Amen.
Amen. Just as a public note, for public comment, there is a Google Form sign-up link in the chat. Public comment will take place after non-legislative business. The following legislation is being held this evening from Councilmember Darby, a resolution urging the Wilmington Neighborhood Land Bank to pause the transfer of the Gibraltar estate and engage in a transparent, equitable, and expert-guided redevelopment process. At this time, we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Owens.
Present.
Councilmember Darby. Councilmember Oliver.
Present.
Councilmember Harley.
Present.
Councilmember Willauer. Councilmember McCoy.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
Councilmember Field.
Present.
Councilmember Bracy.
Here.
Councilmember Cabrera. Councilmember Hackett.
Here.
Councilmember Spadola.
Present.
President Congo.
Here.
10 present, 3 absent.
Thank you. This time we'll have the reading of the minutes from our previous meeting.
December 11th, 2025, City Council met in regular session with remote participation on the above date at 6:38 p.m. President Ernest M. Congo II presiding.
Mr. President, I move that the minutes be accepted as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second the minutes be accepted as written. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I'd like to recognize Council Member Willauer. At this time, we will have our committee reports.
December 8th, 2025, President and members of Council of the City of Wilmington, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Finance and Economic Development Committee, met by anchor location and remote participation to who was referred Ordinance Number 25-069 entitled, An Ordinance to Amend Chapter 2 of the City Code to require that all legislation include a fiscal impact statement prepared by the Office of Management and Budget, have given this ordinance careful review and recommend council vote on it at an upcoming council meeting. Respectfully submitted, members of the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
I move the committee report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. The report be received, recorded, and filed on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we will have our city treasurer's report.
January 8th, 2026. Total investments, $576,189,511.83. Total cash on hand, $14,821,945.77. Grand total, $591,011,457.60. Respectfully submitted, City Treasurer Dwayne Sims.
Mr. President, I move the treasurer's report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. The report be received, recorded, and filed on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I will accept the motion to move to accept all non-legislative business.
So motion.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second to accept all non-legislative business on the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we'll have a presentation by the Wilmington Police Department Honor Guard in honor of Delaware State Police Corporal Matthew Tyler Ty Snook, followed by a resolution to be read by Council Members McCoy, Bracy, and Spadola. Going to ask for Council Members Spadola, McCoy, and Bracy to please come forward.
To the Snook family, there are no government words that can meet the weight of what you and your family have lost. Please know, though, that the people of Wilmington are holding you and your family in care, and this resolution is the city's formal expression of that. Now, we will place Ty's name, his service, and his story into the public record of this city as one small way of joining those who will always carry his memory. Whereas Council expresses special condolences to the family and friends of Corporal Grade 1 Matthew Tyler Snook, who gained his wings on December 23, 2025, and whereas the members of the Council of the City of Wilmington would like to offer our sincerest sympathies during this difficult time. Matthew, affectionately known as Ty, was a cherished member of our community. We stand with you in grief, and his loss will be greatly felt by everyone who loved and respected him.
Whereas Ty was born on July 31st, 1991, to Matthew and Karen Snook. He spent his childhood in Bear, Delaware. He attended Commodore McDonough and Our Lady of Fatima, where his leadership, love of sports, and strong character first emerged. He later graduated from St. Mark's High School, earning respect both academically and athletically, before attending the University of Maryland on a Division I wrestling scholarship. And whereas in 2015, Corporal Snook proudly began his service with the Delaware State Police, dedicating 10 years to protecting and serving the people of Delaware. As a field training officer, he mentored and guided recruits with patience, care, and professionalism, helping to shape the future of law enforcement in our state. And whereas at just 34 years old, Corporal Snook exemplified unwavering courage, commitment, and integrity throughout his service to the state of Delaware. These same qualities, along with honesty, loyalty, and kindness, defined his life beyond the badge. Ty was a trusted friend, a cherished son, a beloved brother, a loving husband, and in the role he held most dear, a devoted father. And whereas, dear family and friends, while we know that no words can ease your pain, please know that this hard time will pass. The Wilmington City Council joins the community in expressing profound gratitude for Corporal Snook's service and ultimate sacrifice. We stand in solidarity with his family, the Delaware State Police, and all first responders during this time of immeasurable loss. His life, his love for family and friends, and his dedication to others leave a lasting legacy that will continue to inspire the city of Wilmington and all who had the honor of knowing him. We extend this resolution as a token of our care and concern in your time of mourning. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that this legislative body offers sincere condolences to the family members, colleagues, and friends of Corporal Grade 1 Matthew Tyler Snook. And as we join you in mourning the loss of his bright flame, we also celebrate how brightly it burned.
At this time, we are going to invite Ty's sister to please come forward for remarks from the family.
Hi, I'm Cassie. I'm Tyler's little sister. On behalf of my family, we just want to say thank you for honoring my brother today. Our biggest hope is that he is remembered and his name is said for a long time to come. So thank you for doing this today for him. Ty was always a hero. He was an extraordinary person as an officer, but as a person as well. And if anyone is deserving of this, it would be him. My family wants to say thank you for the overwhelmingly amount of support and love and prayers that we have been getting from our community. We are proud Delawareans, and the last couple weeks have really ingrained that in us. So thank you to everyone. We appreciate everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay right there.
Any comments from any council members? Councilmember Harley. I'd also like to recognize Councilwoman Cabrera, who has joined us virtually. Councilmember Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to offer my condolences to the wife of Corporal Snook and to his family. And I, too, want to thank him for his courage, as it has already been mentioned, and for just being an impeccable person. I did not know him, but just reading and hearing the different comments and remarks about people that did know him, my heart was just so heavy just thinking about such a good person, us losing such a good person, and especially in the field of law enforcement. So again, I just wanted to extend my condolences to the family and thank the family for just allowing him to serve the state of Delaware. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to echo what Councilman Hardy stated, and I, too, would like to give condolence to the Snook family. And I don't know him, but I do know he was a hero. I have 4 friends who work out motor vehicle who was there that day, and they said it could have really, he saved a lot of lives that day. So my condolences go to the family. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I, too, would like to offer my condolences to the family. I, too, did not know the corporal, but I just recently heard a story about how great of a man he was in his profession, that he managed to de-escalate situations on the highway where things could have really went left, and people recognized who he was immediately when they seen his photo, and they were like, wow, one of the good ones. So I just want to say thank you for giving them to us for the time that we had them, for that you had them.
Thank you. Councilmember Owens.
Yes. Again, like my colleagues have said, my condolences to the family. I think when moments like this happen, even if you don't know the person, you know what type of upbringing they had. His parents raised someone who was brave and who was a hero, and who sacrificed himself to protect others. To his mom, dad, sister, brother-in-law, we all stand with you, and please let us know if there's anything we can do.
Thank you. I would also like to offer my condolences to the family. First, I want to thank you for coming this evening. I know it was extremely hard to relive everything that you were going through, so thank you for that. Unlike many others, I didn't know Ty personally, but I did have one brief interaction with him at the motor vehicle. I remember walking in, and I see this officer there who was built like Superman. And I was like, I was in awe just because of his stature and just the way that his presence was just amazing. And then I had a brief conversation with him because you share the last name of a county officer of a friend of mine. And I asked if they were related. He was just very pleasant. He said he's asked that question all the time. Just a very pleasant guy. You can tell that he was a great guy. Just by the online comments, there was never any negative comments about him or police officers. Everything was positive. Even people that were in trouble with the law, they said how he just gave them a break or how he was just a kind person. So, hats off to you and your family for just raising a gentleman and just a well-rounded young man. And thank you again so much for taking time this evening. I believe that's all the comments from council members. Thank you again, family. In the way of other recognition resolutions from Councilmember Oliver, she would like to recognize the 60th anniversary of Medicare and Medicaid Act, of 1965. And also she would like to recognize the National Guard anniversary. For sympathy resolutions from Councilmember Harley, sympathy resolutions for Howard L. Jones and Jacqueline F. Elder. From Councilmember Oliver, sympathy resolutions for Ernestine A. Jackson, Ida C. Queen, Paul Lanier. From Councilmember Owens, a sympathy resolution for Jacqueline M. Lane. And from Councilmember Spadola, a sympathy resolution for John Joseph Desmond. And then, of course, from all of council, sympathy resolution for Corporal Grade 1 Matthew Tyler Snook. At this time, we will begin public comment. I'm not sure if we have anyone who signed up for comment, either in chambers or virtually. WITN, did anyone sign up virtually? No. All right, thank you. For those who are in council chambers, Deacon Earl Tate.
Happy New Year, everybody. I hope your holiday was nice, and you prepared to face a new day, a new year. My name is Deacon Earl E. Tate, who's never late because he don't want to lose his pair of roller skates, and I'm here to say, now this year, this is the year when the election is upon us. Now we got to get off our seats of do nothing and got to get out here and vote because every vote counts. Every vote counts. And you got to get out here and vote because we got to do something about this man that is in the office now that is tearing up America. America is not the same no more as it was when we was coming up. America was beautiful then, but now he's got in there and he made a mess of it, and he got these men that he call ICE. Let them go down and protect the borderline instead of going around here tearing up things and killing people that haven't done nothing. Let them go down there and take care of the borderline. Because if we want to do something so bad, let them do that. But also what we got to do, we got to come together. We got to come together and we got to work together to make America beautiful like it was when we was coming up. And also this year, let this year be the best year yet. Be the beginning of the year. And it cannot be that way if we just sit down twiddling our thumbs. We got to get up and work together as one. And starting from the city, the county, the government, and all, we got to work together, and that includes the people, all of the people that is out there voting for y'all and put y'all in office. We all got to work together. Amen. And may this year turn out to be one of the blessed years yet, one of the better blessed years yet.
Thank you. Next, we have Brother Howard Bay.
Thank you, Mr. Tate.
Is Brother Howard Bay still with us? If not, we're going to move to Tony Dunn. And thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Tony Dunn, 2500 Civic Association, lifetime Delawarean. I was amazed to see how City Council, the members, dedicate time and effort and respect to the state of Delaware. But it should be the other way around as well. It doesn't seem to me that the state of Delaware understands the significance of working together with the city of Wilmington. And I'm a little concerned about how they are still taking from the city of Wilmington community programs that work for people of color and poor people in general. And I urge the city of Wilmington to get behind city council person that is fighting for poor people, especially with the Plumber Center. I reached out to the state And for those of you who may not have heard and may have been there but didn't share with the community, they met yesterday secretly at the Plumber Center. Stakeholders. My question to the city council members, are any of y'all part of that stakeholders? Because if you're not, then again, it shows us that the state is ignoring you, is not taking you serious when it comes to the needs of us in our communities. And I would urge you to look into it and to get back with the people in the community in your districts and see why it is that they're saying it's essential that that Plumber Center stays in the city of Wilmington. We are not going to make it downstate with those people that live downstate. City of Wilmington people do not get along with people downstate, especially in the DOC correctional facility programs. They just don't get along. And a lot of you may have loved ones that are going down there or already been transferred down there. And they're coming to the people of the community, employees, asking us, what is city council doing to try to avoid this? We need everybody involved, attorneys involved as well. We have some attorneys on city council that should be looking into this matter to see if there can be an injunction placed on the state to stop it until we can get a full investigation on whether or not the Plumber Center should stay there. And I thank all of y'all for your time.
Thank you. We're going to circle back to Brother Howard Bay. All right, this time we're going to move to legislative business. Councilmember Bracy.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the third and final reading.
Ordinance number 25-069, agenda item number 0138, an ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the City Code to require that all legislation include a fiscal impact statement prepared by the Office of Management and Budget.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the enacting clause of the ordinance and call for the yea or nay vote.
Second.
Is there a floor amendment?
Yes.
Councilmember?
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion for a floor amendment at this time. On page 2, delete section 236A, section 2 in its entirety. Renumber section 236A3 as section 236A2. And then on page 4, in section 236E2, delete the phrase, "The city clerk or the clerk's designee shall note on the record of any city council committee meeting or city council meeting at which the amended legislation is discussed or considered that OMB was not able to analyze the fiscal impact of the amended legislation," and replace the deleted phrase with the phrase, "The city law department, if provided with sufficient notice, shall include a statement on the substitute ordinance or floor amendment that OMB was not able to analyze the fiscal impact of the amended legislation." The new section 236E2 will state in its entirety the following. If OMB is not contacted in sufficient time to analyze the fiscal impact of a substitute ordinance or floor amendment, the city law department, if provided with sufficient notice, shall include a statement in the substitute ordinance or floor amendment that OMB was not able to analyze the fiscal impact of the amended legislation.
All right, thank you. Any comments from Councilmember Harley?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I want to thank Councilmember Bracy for sponsoring this legislation. Being the finance chair and being a voting member on at least 6 or 7 additional committees that I didn't know I was taking on all of those, but I'm very happy to do this work and to be a voting member on a number of committees. I get the opportunity to see the big picture, the financial big picture, the operating side. I know we are the legislative branch, and sometimes we do not consider all of the fiscal impact as it relates to the operating side. So it's definitely a different picture when you look at all the different revenue streams and expenditures and basically how we run our city. So it has been a great opportunity. And so this is definitely a good piece of legislation. And I really believe that we have had legislation presented to us, and due to the fact that there was no fiscal impact to be considered, it was not helpful to the legislation. So I do believe understanding the fiscal impact is really good governance. So thank you, Councilmember Bracy, and I would like to be added as a co-sponsor. That's all I have.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
On the amendment, can I just make one clarification?
Yes.
So I want to clarify what the amendment is doing. It's simply, in the original legislation, when we go back to vote on that, it stated that the city clerk would read into the record if OMB did not provide the fiscal impact statement. This now requires the law department to include it in the legislation. So when they send the draft legislation over to us, the law department will now be required to put a statement in that states that they reached out to OMB and they weren't able to get it or whatever. Like, so this is just taking the responsibility of our city clerk having to read it into the record and making the law department do it ahead of time. So that's the big clarification for what the this amendment is doing. It's just adding that in so that the clerk's not responsible for reading it on the record. It should already be in the ordinance.
Thank you. Just we need to get a second for the amendment. Can
I
someone
second the amendment.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too would like to be added as a co-sponsor. What I appreciate about the amendment is that OMB or the clerk, the council or the mayor's department, it just will not hold up the legislation period. So that's a good thing. So I'd like to if the fiscal note is not on there one way or another for whatever issue, it still won't hold up the legislation. That was the issue I thought I would have with it, but that clarifies it. So you can add me as a co-sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Willauer.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I actually wanted to talk with the sponsor. I want to thank you, Councilwoman Bracy, for bringing this up. I do think that we on council really need the fiscal notes to be accurate, and it's really important. And this step it's a good one, but I still have concerns because one of the things I worry about is the potential for this to hold up legislation. When we talked earlier this afternoon, Councilwoman Bracy, I had brought up that this number 3, no ordinance or substantive resolution should be listed on a city council committee meeting agenda for discussion or a city council meeting agenda for third and final reading.
What point of order?
Yeah.
We're still on the amendment.
I know, that's what I'm talking about. I thought you said this was going to be eliminated or changed in the amendment, and it's not.
And I can explain to you why, because it doesn't have to be. After having a conversation with the law department, I got clarity on that. So it's covered under section. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. President.
Yes.
Okay, it's covered. We're still on the amendment, but it's covered. The part that you're concerned about is covered under section 236A1.
Could you say that again? I'm sorry, I missed it.
So the part where you were concerned about it being legislation being held up because we're going through this process. One, the law department and OMB have 30 days to get us the information. If they cannot get it to us within that 30 days, the law department will then put that statement on the ordinance that says that they attempted and they couldn't, and then that resolves that. So it doesn't hold us up. So we're not going to be held up waiting for OMB. If OMB does not respond to the law department is required to put a statement on the ordinance and send it to us to say we reached out for whatever reason, OMB did not, or they could not. That does not hold us up from being able to do our jobs.
Okay.
Councilmember Willauer.
That's all I have for now. Thank you,
I
Mr.
was-
President.
Point of order. We actually still needed to vote on the actual amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we,
So we vote on the amendment, and then we could actually have on the question.
Yeah.
We could have went to that.
but her question was about the amendments, what she said.
Yeah, my
Okay.
Council President?
Yes. you may continue.
Yeah, just to clarify, my question was about the amendment. Like, we had talked about the amendments earlier today, and so I had thought the amendment would have that in it, and it didn't, so it was really clarifying. I was seeking clarification about the amendment, so I was talking about the amendment. So thank you very much, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. So at this time, if no further comment, we're going to take a vote on the amendment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Amendment passed. Now we're going back to the legislation. Councilmember Bracy.
Okay, thank you. So just to kind of give a brief synopsis of which I think everybody at this point understands, this is just codifying a process for when we introduce legislation. And this is not just for council, this is on both sides. So anything that comes from the administration, anything that we're creating that's an ordinance, will now have a well-defined fiscal impact statement. So it won't just be one sentence that says the fiscal impact is de minimis. We're defining what we're looking for from OMB with that statement, with the fiscal impact statement, and that should include, and I can just read it really quickly. The statement, estimated cost or savings to the city, any potential impact of the legislation on revenue, statement of any potential any impact on staffing, operations, or capital expenditures, description of the assumptions used in preparing the estimates, and potential impacts listed in the subject sections. So it gives us a better understanding of what we're doing and how much it's going to cost. And it also gives us the opportunity to challenge this, because it's not saying that we have to use this fiscal impact statement, but it gives us a better baseline than a sentence that, sometimes we'll get a sentence that says the estimated cost is $300,000 or $400,000, or we may get something that just says de minimis. And then once we pass the legislation, we're told that, oh, it's going to cost too much because we have to add a new position, or we have to, we have to buy new software to do this. So this takes a little bit of that guesswork out and requires them to give us all the information up front. And then the other concern, which a lot of my colleagues mentioned, was making sure that it doesn't hold up our work. The requirement is that when we bring this to committee or to the floor, we have done this process. However, if for whatever reason the law department does not get the information from OMB within there's 15 days to get the information, and then there's another 15 days grace period that can be added if approved by council. So they can have up to 30 days to give us this information. If for whatever reason they cannot, when the law department gives us the ordinance, they are required now to list that they tried to get the information and they couldn't, or that the OMB said that there was no fiscal impact, and explain why. So it just gives us, it just kind of codifies a process that will be in place long after we're gone, where we're now really trying to be more fiscally responsible about how we're dealing with the city's money. And it also helps us, because if we're introducing something that is going to need a budget amendment in the future, it's nice to know that ahead of time. So it just helps us do our jobs and be more effective.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver, followed by Councilmember Hackett.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to vote present on this because when Councilman Bracy just mentioned, I think this is a great piece, but when you just mentioned about it will never just have a fiscal impact. Sometime it may just have a fiscal impact. So I like to see how this works for a couple months, and I'll come back and revisit, because I don't want to see legislation held up because it may just have one line and say this is the fiscal impact. But I do think this is a good piece. But just in case I have to bring something back, I'm going to vote present on it.
Thank you, Councilmember Hackett, followed by Councilmember.
Yeah, I just have a question for the sponsor, and I just want to put on the record that, in our rules, it already states that all our ordinances need a fiscal, statement. So as a new council member, I'm just trying to figure out why at this moment in time do we need to codify something? I don't know if there's been any legislation in the past that has been, a fiscal statement wasn't there, and then we realized that, we needed something. Plus, on top of any fiscal statement, I mean, OMB is also giving out guesses, because we never know once an operation starts if something's going to need to be added on or fixed in that moment of time to do a budget amendment. So, I just ask right now, with this legislation being codified, is the process we have right now not working? I think, legislation since I've been here has been going swiftly. Fiscal statements have been on legislation. Everybody legislation that they put forth hasn't been held up, but this could be coming from a different sessions that I wasn't a part of. But since I've been here, everything has been running smoothly with our ordinances. So I just try to figure out, at this time, why are we doing something like this when it's already in our rules?
Councilmember Bracy, do you want to address that now or during your final comments?
Yep, I can address it now.
Okay, Councilmember
So, two things. One, in different administrations, there are different relationships with council and the administration. And even though it may be in our rules, it's not clearly defined as to what our expectation is for a fiscal impact statement. So a fiscal impact statement, as it stands right now in our rules, could be one sentence that says it's going to cost approximately $100,000, or it could just be a sentence that says the cost is de minimis. That's not a fiscal impact statement. That's not telling us how many jobs we're going to need to hire for, or if there's going to be, and there have been experiences some of the council members from previous sessions know, where we've passed something and then we're told, oh, well, we can't do that because we don't have it in the budget. Or, oh, we can't do that because we're going to have to hire somebody. Oh, we can't do that because it's going to cost software, and we don't know. And so all of those things that we're told after the fact, and then it's not done. And so this is just saying now there's a process. It's clear. Law department knows exactly what we're asking for, and they are going to work with OMB. And then if we get the report from OMB, it gives us something to question. So it's not saying we have to use their numbers, but now we can go back and say, okay, well, you're saying this is going to cost $500,000, and here's how you're calculating that. Why do we need two people instead of one, or why do we need to hire anyone? Can't you reassign someone? So it's really just to make sure that there's a clear system in place, not just one sentence in our rules that can be interpreted any old way.
Quick rebuttal. And I guess when we talk about legislation, I think we talk about the greater good of the people in the city of Wilmington. This is something that helps council, the greater good of council, to be better. And that's why we create our rules, so that when we go into our session, it helps us be prepared so that we can do what we need to do. So I ask, why don't we just look at our rules and advance or edit our rules to be better and be clear? Because another council can come in for another session and might not like this. And it's codified, or any kind of situation may go into place. When it comes to our council and how we operate, I think that's why we prepare rules, not legislation. I think more than anything, the ordinance and legislation is for making sure that we do better for the people in the city of Wilmington. So that's just, my comment on that.
All right, thank you. Councilmember McCoy.
Thank you. Actually, before I talk about the one thing, I did have a question about the deleting of Section 236 in its entirety. Just wanted to know what was the reasoning behind that deletion of the rules. It was the ordinance may be introduced before City Council and having first and second reading without containing the fiscal impact statement. I just wonder why that portion got deleted first.
Councilmember Bracy.
Oh, thank you. So it was deleted because after talking to staff, we don't need that in there to be able to introduce it to first and second. And so it was just a matter of we're still able to do that without having it listed in this ordinance. So it was just a piece that after talking to the staff and talking to the law department, we didn't need to actually have this in here because we can still, first and second, no action is taken. So you can introduce anything for first and second, and then it goes to the committee. So we don't need to have that statement.
Okay. All right. Also, if I may follow.
Yes, Councilmember.
So, I do like the fact that we are defining the fiscal impact. There are many times in other terms that I've actually seen pieces of legislation come through, even though we stated from like the first time I ran, we stated that, that I was here, we stated that we wanted a fiscal impact statement on there, and a lot of times they actually came without one at all. The minimum, it might be just the bare minimum that they may put on there if they don't quite know what the amount is, but there has been times fiscal impact statements were almost empty. The just recent ordinance that I passed, that was vetoed. Like I passed, it was vetoed. The first time that fiscal impact statement stated like this number, $300,000, and I was like, what? When OMB had to go back and take more, like they had to go with a microscope and figure out exactly what things needed to be done in order to get this thing accomplished. It reduced the amount by $100,000, and then if we actually did not have to do the thing, it reduced it by almost another $100,000. So by having them go back and take a closer look at it, it made it whereas though it was a much easier. It was much easier for my colleagues to get behind it and also for the administration. So I do like the fact that we will be a little bit more specific when it comes to the fiscal impact statement and know exactly where all of the dollars are being spent. And if we still say, you know what, even though you say that that's the amount, I still think this is something that we should push for. Just knowing what the amount is very important. I believe that, and I would like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Thank you. Councilmember Wellauer.
Yeah, again, I really want to thank Councilwoman Bracey for bringing this up because I do think we have to know how much things are going to cost in order to be able to make good decisions. And I like the fact that you're thinking about laying out a process. But I also have concerns about the possibility that, maybe not this administration, but future administrations, like they drag their feet on creating a fiscal impact statement. And with 3 in here that no ordinance or substantive resolution shall be listed on a city council committee meeting agenda for discussion or a city council meeting for third and final reading, unless there's a fiscal impact statement, unless they've done it. I just worry that could trip up the whole legislative process. And I don't think we should get ourselves into that. So I'd like to piggyback on what Councilwoman Oliver said. And would it be possible, and what Councilman Hackett maybe also was talking about, would it be possible to try this out? To ask OMB to follow these rules and, see if they can achieve that and we get better, fiscal impact statements. Quality control, I think, on fiscal impact statements is like a huge issue. So get better fiscal impact statements, like adjust any problems, see if the timing is right. 15 days turnaround, 30 days turnaround, maybe they need 45 days. Like, test out this idea. So I'd like to request, Councilwoman Bracey, that you consider holding the legislation and that we take an approach to this that enables us to figure out is this the system to get better fiscal impact statements that we all agree are necessary? And if it is, what part of it needs to be legislated? What part of it can just happen through rules or just through policies? And then also, I think we had talked earlier today about, how can we do something to kind of tighten up in general the process for council getting an idea from, idea into being legislation. And I think it could be part of a larger discussion that would be really great. That's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. I return back to the sponsor.
Thank you. So first to address what Councilwoman Wellauer was just mentioning, in Section 3, that section that you were talking about where it says no ordinance or substantive resolutions shall be listed on a city council committee meeting agenda for discussion or council meeting agenda for third and final, you missed the part where it says unless the requirements of subsection A1 have been satisfied. Subsection A1 states all ordinances and substantive resolutions shall include either a fiscal impact statement prepared by the Office of Management and Budget or a written statement from OMB explaining the reasons that no fiscal impact statement could be prepared. Which means, back to what I was saying, when the law department is drafting an ordinance, if for whatever reason OMB does not submit a fiscal impact statement, there will be a statement on that ordinance that says that. So it does not impede us from doing anything. It does not hold up the legislation. And in addition, there's a 15-day window to get this done. So 15 business days from when the law department reaches out to OMB. OMB has 15 days. If they're going to take longer than 15 days, they have to reach back out, and we have to approve another 15 days. So they have a maximum of 30 days to get this done. So it's not like this is going to hold up anything that we have going on. And again, on the legislation that you get, it's going to say fiscal impact statement, and it's going to have it's either going to have it or it's not. And if it doesn't, the law department will state why. So it's not like this is actually holding up anything. This is just clearing the process, letting the law department and OMB know exactly what we want, and then we're moving forward from there. So I don't see, if we are, focused on transparency and being fiscally responsible, then I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to know what the numbers are. And so I do, I take all of the feedback. And again, if there are things that we need to tweak, we need to change in the future, I think that that's always possible. I know that when we had our conversation, Councilwoman Willauer, we had ideas about other things that we can tighten up as well. So I would ask for your support today. I think this is just prudent, and this isn't something that it should matter whether it's this council or the next council. Everybody should be wanting to do the right thing with the city's money. And so I think that this is an opportunity for us to really be proactive, and no matter who's mayor, we know that we're going to get those numbers. No matter who's council president, we know that there's a process in place that's codified, that has nothing to do with the rules that are subject to change with every council session, but it's just that letting us know that we are really doing our due diligence with the city's money. Thanks.
Thank you. And before we go to the roll, Councilmember Owens, you have a comment?
Yes, I do. And I just caught this. So in section A1, it says that if no fiscal impact is going to be provided, that OMB has to submit a written statement. But then later on, you talk about law doing it. Who would be responsible for that? Because if OMB hasn't prepared the fiscal impact report, and then they don't submit a written statement, law can't just put that on, correct? Or can they?
They can't.
Councilmember Bracy.
Yes, because law department writes our ordinances. So part of when law department, so if you request an ordinance, it goes to the law department. The law department reaches out to OMB. OMB doesn't respond, or OMB says there's whatever the conversation is between the law department and OMB. When the law department sends us the ordinance, that statement is going to be on here. Either a fiscal impact statement is going to be on this ordinance, or a statement as to why there's no fiscal impact statement. And so when the law department types up the ordinance and sends it to our office, it will say, here's the fiscal impact from OMB, or it's going to say that there's no fiscal impact statement could be prepared, and it's going to have that on our ordinance. So that comes from the law department. It's going to come from the law department because they're the ones that write our ordinances.
Councilmember Owens.
Yes, I understand that part, but what I'm saying is this explicitly says that a written statement from OMB explaining the reasons of no fiscal impact statement, that part is where I think I'm getting tripped up right now, because law wouldn't be able to provide why there's no fiscal impact or there is a fiscal impact. I believe that could only come from the financial people.
But then, I'm sorry.
Councilmember Bracy.
Exactly, but then they have to put it on here. They can't send it back to us and say, oh, we didn't get, they have to put that statement on the ordinance.
Right. I think my question is, what if that written statement doesn't come through? If they didn't have time to prepare an impact report, but if we don't get a statement as well, I think that's what I just want some clarity on.
Then we wouldn't have, I'm sorry.
Councilmember Bracy.
That we wouldn't have the ordinance, because the point is, this is putting a clock on the law department and on OMB. So we wouldn't even have the ordinance. When the ordinance comes from the law department in our inbox, all of this due diligence would have already been done within 30 days. You see what I'm saying? Like, so the law department's responsibility is to get the information from OMB. If OMB is not going to have it in time, OMB sends a statement. If OMB doesn't send the statement, then there's then at some point the law department is going to have to notify our office that, hey, we haven't heard from OMB. But for us to actually get the actual draft bill, the law department has to do their part. This is we're not going to get they have to do their part.
Councilmember Owens, any follow-up? Are you okay?
No, sir.
All right, Councilmember Willauer, followed by Councilmember Hackett.
Yeah, and Councilwoman Bracy, again, I think it's really important. I want to emphasize, I think that fiscal responsibility is essential and that we all have to be like serving the public and doing things in the public's best interest and managing the city's money to benefit the broader public. But sometimes, just the way government works, like sometimes the administration thinks one way and the city council, just from having a different perspective, thinks another way. And you want to make sure that the working of the city council, which is the legislative branch, doesn't get tripped up by the working of the administrative branch, like unnecessarily. So that's what I see here. Potentially, number one, like OMB falls down. Like they don't do a fiscal impact statement and they don't do a reason for not having a fiscal impact statement. And then like it just, you don't meet the requirements for C because like OMB just didn't do their job. And I don't think we should set up a situation where council can't do legislation because the OMB hasn't done their job. Like we have to have some, like that's, the system works best when we balance each other. And we don't want, like, I think this is a good legislation. I just think it needs to be tightened up. So again, I would request that we take a little bit more time to work on this, maybe test it out, but definitely take a real close look at the language to make sure that we're not unnecessarily tying up the legislative process so that council can serve the people that elected us, that sent us here.
Thank you. Councilmember Hackett?
I'm all good.
You okay?
Yeah.
Councilmember Bracy, any final comments?
I'm sorry. I'll just call. We'll just call for the vote.
All right. Thank you. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilmember Owens,
Present.
Councilmember Darby, Councilmember Oliver,
Present.
Councilmember Harley,
Yes.
Councilmember Willauer,
No.
Councilmember McCoy,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Field,
Yes.
Councilmember Bracy,
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackett,
Yes.
Councilmember Spadola,
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes.
Nine yeas, 2 present, 1 absent, and 1 nay.
Declared adopted. Councilmember Harley may be excused.
Thank you.
This time we're going to go to Councilmember Field.
Be excused.
Yes, she may be excused. Councilmember Oliver? Yes, she may be excused.
Ain't it petition?
We're going to start with Councilmember Owens, Petitions and Communications.
I just want to say Happy New Year's to everyone. I'm glad to be back in council with all my colleagues, and that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Willauer?
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy?
Yes, Happy New Year. There is something I need to talk about. Okay. We have an event coming up soon. We'll be celebrating or observing the birth of Martin Luther King Jr., and they will be having MSK will be hosting a MLK Day celebration at the community center. It's normally a cleanup, and then they do projects, and then there's also a community celebration. I'm putting it out there now because the 19th is coming before we have our second meeting. Please take a look at either Westside Grows Together's website or also onto my council page. So to see the flyer so you can know the exact time and about volunteering, about cleaning up. So I hope that, this is actually normally a large celebration is normally several different communities, districts, all throughout the area on the west side normally participate. So I hope to see you there.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
I have no matters tonight except to support the West Side MSK event. It's always a really well-attended event. Be safe, everybody.
Thank you. Councilmember Bracy.
Nothing tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Cabrera. Go to Councilmember Hackett.
Nothing this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Hackett.
Yeah, I just want to say God bless everybody. I turned 1 year older, over the break. I'm getting old as we speak, but I love everybody. I'm happy to see everybody. New year, I'm here, That's all that matters. And I'll see y'all next meeting. Yeah.
Happy belated birthday.
I think Mr. President wants to sing happy
Welcome
birthday.
back.
Oh, yeah. You got to sing to him, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Actually, you don't. Actually, I already did it.
Where's Elijah? He likes singing.
Birthday.
Councilmember Spadola.
Nothing tonight, Council President.
All right, thank you. I just want to remind everyone that we are going to have another meeting next Thursday right here in Council Chambers. Everyone is welcome. You can also join us virtually. If you want to give public comment, you can do so in chambers or virtually. I also want to give a shout out to Ajay and Marilena and their roles this evening. Marilena, you did a great job.
Woohoo!
Way better than
Don't say that.
no, okay. All right.
Guided.
I think
I don't know. I'm used to having the prayer in Spanish too.
I know. See, they told me I couldn't do it. I think with that we're going to accept a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.